When it comes to the financial markets, we're going to take a really quick, brief look back in history at what the best possible day might be to dollar cost average into any given financial market. Obviously, this is not financial advice. You should always do your own research, and everyone's financial situation is different. But I wanted to look back at the historical data of the different prices on different days. And obviously, there's lots of macroeconomic factors that can affect things at any given time. But I'm using this data to try and figure out what the best day of the week might be if you want to add just a little bit of money each day of the week. So what dollar cost averaging is it's just balancing out the entire market as you go so that you feel the volatility a lot less. So let's say the price is 1,000 one day and then it's 900 the next day. If you bought in on both days with the same amount of money, then your average buy would be 950, right? I think I said 1,900, 950. So what happens then is that you do it again and again and again, and whether it's going up or down, slowly your average buy is actually becoming really even. And if you did this for say 3 to 4 years, then your average buy would really very rarely move much. Even if the price is 10 times higher one day than it was a year beforehand, your average buy would probably not change very much unless it sat up there for a long time, and then it might slowly increase. But the idea is to even it out. And in theory, well, realistically, if price did go upwards over a long, very long period of time, then technically you would be in profit, right? Because you would be holding stocks and you bought them for less than they're worth now. It's just more about being time in the market rather than timing the market. So let's jump into this. This is some pretty interesting stuff. So I'm looking at 4 major things. All right, I'm looking at BTC, Ethereum, the SPX, and the NDX. So BTC and Ethereum is Bitcoin and Ethereum, obviously. And I'm looking at these because these are the 2 largest cryptos at the moment in existence, all right? There's not much more to it. The SPX and NDX are a lot more important. So the first thing that we notice is that the SPX, which is the S&P 500, is made up of 500 of the largest stocks on the American Stock Exchange. And this typically, for a lot of people, dictates the general movements of the stock market. Most stocks follow it because it's quite large and there's a lot of different hedge funds and things that algorithmically trade it. And that is why people use it to gauge general sentiment of the stock market and where it's heading, right? The NDX is the NASDAQ. Now, this is much closer to cryptocurrency because it's filled with a lot of large tech stocks, things like Apple, Microsoft, I think Google maybe, and Facebook. They're all in the NASDAQ, right? So basically what that means is, since crypto is kind of like a really, really small tech stock in a lot of ways, just like the entire crypto market, it tends to follow the NASDAQ a little bit more than the S&P 500, but they all follow each other, so you kind of get the same signals anyways. But it's worth noting that's a really good stock to follow if you're interested in the general movements for maybe the crypto market and things like that. So that being said, let's take a look at what some of the best days might be. So if we zoom in here, I'm just bring this up. If we zoom in here, you can see for Bitcoin, it looks like your Monday and Friday are kind of your lowest days for the token to be, to get some of those better buy-in prices on average over the past 5 years. I've only looked at the past 5 years for this. You look at Ethereum and it looks like Friday is the best, but Monday and Tuesday are also really, really good, but Thursday is killing you. And Wednesday's killing you on Bitcoin. It's really interesting looking at this data, right? Obviously, with the stock market, it's not open on the weekend, so that's obvious. But it looks like Monday isn't too great, and Tuesday and Wednesday are killing you. And it's the same thing on the NDX. As Tuesday and Wednesday are absolutely killing you. Now, I did something interesting, and I don't know why this gave me significantly different results, but it did. I did something interesting where I took a look. I did a weekly simulation, right? I took a certain amount of cash, it's $100 in this case, and I took a look at how much you would potentially profit or end up with if you spent $100 on that given thing every single week on a given day, right? And I'm considering simulating further, like if you bought and sold on this and this day and things like that, but I more just want to understand the overall data and try and get some of these points across, that if you invest on different days, it really doesn't make much of a difference. It looks like it does because of all the colors, but it really is very, very small. So if you're looking here for cryptos, it looks like putting it in on Monday is going to end you up with the net highest result. And even though we saw before that Tuesday was one of the better days overall to buy into, it seems like either it always crashes on a Sunday or something like that, or better still, that just being longer in the market, since all my charts started on a Monday, I'm pretty sure, being longer in the market is just beneficial. So just get your feet wet. Obviously, make sure you're going to your own financial situations and environments. But there's just a lot of interesting data to consider over here, right? So the other thing we should look at is S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, and it looks like Tuesday is one of the better days. Since the stock market's open on the Monday, then there's probably a lot of volatility, and by the looks of things, a lot of volatility to the downside. So Tuesday is going to net you a little bit higher on stock market. So I think it's really fun to look at. I'm sure other people have already made this data and these charts, but it's really fun to mess around with. And also spent is 31,400, so you would be in profit over the past 5 years on any of these. Okay, so the next fun one we're going to have a look at is if we change this funds to use. I'm only going to do this once. I don't want to make this video too long, but if we change this to like $300, you can see it slowly update. Really, the results don't change. Like, you can see that it doesn't really matter a whole lot how much money you put into it. But obviously, it does start to get a little bit more extreme, considering 5 years ago, Ethereum was worth like $10. So it starts to get a bit ridiculous. You guys get the idea. Crypto's a lot bigger now, so I wouldn't expect it to go up another 100x or whatever, but you know, anything can happen in this crazy world. I've seen weirder things. All right, so have a good day, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to learn more about Illuvium, okay, go check out this video over here. It is going to tell you everything you need to know about the Illuvium overworld. Have a good day, guys.